Justice and his wife, our First Lady.
Good to see you. Thank you, guys. Hey, guys, how we doing? Good to see you. Good to see you. Hey, guys. Hello. How you doing, guys? Good to see y'all. How you doing, Mr. Secretary? Good to see you. I'm going to steal your seat here.
And now your attention to the podium, please. I'd like to introduce to you the Secretary of the West Virginia Department of Transportation, as well as the Commissioner of the Division of Highways. Please welcome Mr. Tom Smith.
Thank you all so much. You have this turned on, Randy? 1, 2, 3. We okay? Thank you all so much for showing up on such a cold day here. A cold day to hear Governor Justice talk about his Save Our State tour. I also want to give a special thanks to Gus Swade and the good folks of the West Virginia DOT and the City of Wheeling who worked so hard to set this event up. It's a chilly day today and a tough day to be out here getting set up, but here we have a good crowd. It is a cold day, but it's a good day for us to get together and hear more about what Governor Justice is trying to do for our state. And we're right in sight of this much-needed rehab project. This is the biggest rehab project on our list, $135 million for about 14 bridges right here in the downtown Wheeling area, a much-needed project. I had I can't say the good fortune, I had the ability to ride those projects right before we came here, and you can see if you ride those projects how badly needed this work is. Those bridges are in terrible shape. They need some attention. I want to talk about what SOS means in a minute, but I'd like to recognize a few folks that we have here in the room. These are folks who really do a lot to make our mountain state a wonderful place to be, and they really make a difference. So do we have any delegates or senators here today? If so, I'd like to ask you to stand up. All right. If not, then do we have any county commissioners or city officials? I'd like to ask you to stand up and be recognized. Thank you so much for what you do. It really is an important part of making our state all that it can be, to have you out here being the committed folks that you are that really move the state forward. Well, the problems we have that we're going to be talking about today are real problems, and they really just cannot be ignored any longer. That's why Governor Justice is calling this tour the Save Our State Tour. Now that maybe seems like a nice acronym, Save Our State, but it's really more than that. Many of you know that SOS is the universal signal for distress in the Morse code. And I will say to you that our transportation economy, our transportation infrastructure, and even more importantly, our economy is really in a state of significant distress. And I'm also going to tell you that we really can't kick the can down the road any further, that Governor Justice really has a plan that tries to make a difference here. As a transportation professional, I'm really extremely happy that Governor Justice has recognized the role that transportation can play in this economic recovery. Transportation really touches everything that we do every day. Makes a difference about what the cost of food is at the grocery store. It makes your trip to the doctor, to church, to your high school, to your school for your kids. All of that is something that's an important part of transportation. Your commute in general really is a quality of life issue for you. We really work hard at the West Virginia DOT to try to build the most advanced safety concepts into the road too. So even your 16-year-old driver, we try to make sure that transportation is safe for that person. So again, remember that transportation touches everything you do. And really our transportation system in West Virginia is really in a sad state. Several weeks ago in Charleston, there was a report that was released, the TRIP report, and you can find this on the website, TRIP, just if you Google the TRIP report for West Virginia. It's really an alarming report that talks about the problems that we're having with our deficient roadways, and in cities like Wheeling, in some places, our congested roadways. It says that the cost to motorists in West Virginia is over $1 billion, $1.4 billion is costing our motorists statewide as far as the cost of traffic and the cost, what I'll call the cost of doing nothing. In our rural areas, it's about $650 per driver. And then in the urban areas like Wheeling, it's well over $1,000 per driver. Now, I was drinking my coffee this morning at home and opened the Gazette paper and greeted with this. The TRIP report also talks about being the 5th worst state in the country as far as our state of repair with bridges. 2 years ago, we were the 12th worst, and now we're 5th worst. We're really moving in the wrong direction, folks, and we have to do something about this. We cannot continue to delay the work on this type of part of our infrastructure. The longer we wait, the more behind we get. And I want you to really think about this. That $650 per motorist is the cost of doing nothing. If we do nothing, you're going to have bent rims, you're going to have misaligned steering, you're going to have flat tires, you're going to have time wasted spent sitting in traffic. So the longer we wait, the more that cost goes up. Governor Justice's plan costs less than $100 per motorist to try to really make a dent in that and to try to move it in the right direction. It's really time for us to pay attention to this and to devote the resources to it. So again, Governor Justice has a plan that will really work to make our infrastructure better and to both improve and to take care of the infrastructure that we currently have to preserve that. Now, I want him to tell you more about the details of that plan himself, but I want to say this. Number one, it's a really big plan, $2.8 billion. We're looking to see if we can even make that bigger, but $2.8 billion. It's a bold plan, 48,000 immediate jobs that as you push these projects out, those jobs are available immediately. And it's also a plan that provides for immediate economic recovery. One of the neat things about highway projects is we can build training into those jobs so that we can take displaced workers, displaced steel workers, displaced miners, put them to work right away with a good paying job and have training for them where they can learn this as they go along. So without implementing Governor Justice's plan, we're going to continue to have a big problem. A continued chronic underinvestment in infrastructure, a stagnant economy, chronic unemployment, work will be done at a snail's pace. Some of the other needed projects you need here in the Wheeling area, we won't even get to those. So what I would say that we really have to have the courage to confront that cost of doing nothing, that $650 to $1,000 for each of you, and at a small cost, less than $100 per person. So if I haven't convinced you how important this is, maybe the next speaker can. This man cares deeply about the state of West Virginia, his beloved state. He could have stayed home and retired, and at this point in his life, he could have enjoyed the fruits of his labor. But Governor Justice has chosen to double down with his commitment to making change. And I can tell you there's not many people that can match his energy. So with no further ado, it's my honor to be a part of his team, and it's my privilege to introduce to you the 36th Governor of the great state of West Virginia, the Honorable Jim Justice.
Tom, thank you, sir. Appreciate it. All right, I'm going to back up. You got to sit down, please. And thank you so much for coming. And I guess the bottom line of the whole thing is just this. We're all West Virginians, aren't we? And forevermore, we've been West Virginians, and a lot of people on the outside have thrown a lot of rocks at us. Now, you know that, and I know it too. A lot of people on the outside said, oh, West Virginians, you people are backward, dark, dingy, ignorant, a lot of things. I mean, have they not? Now, but the real truth is, you know just how good we really are. And I do too. And it bothers me. It bothers me to my soul that we are 50th in everything coming or going, and we've been 50th in everything coming or going for too long. Now, there's no question that there's a lot of things you're doing right here that are really good things. No question about that whatsoever. And in all honesty, there's a lot of what you're doing here that Charleston doesn't have a clue how you're doing it, and they ought to be looking at your playbook and running your playbook. But they're not. And so the net of the whole thing is, in some ways, you may not be able to really see just how bad things really are. I would bet my life on it that you don't really have a clue how bad things really are, even if they're really tough at your place. Now, the reason I say that is I ran for governor, didn't I? 18 months. And then all of a sudden I'm elected by your graciousness of bestowing your votes on me and humbling me by being your governor. So I go in and I look under all the sheets, and I couldn't believe it. I thought I knew, but I didn't. And it's bad. And I don't blow smoke up anybody's behind. I don't have time to do it. I'm not a politician. I'm just a person that's going to tell you like it is. And believe me, if you don't think it's bad, you're a lunatic. Now, so here's the deal. What is bad is this: government supplies opportunity, hope, services. What would you do if you awaken tomorrow and services deplete even more? More people leave. Drugs are worse. What are we going to do? What are we going to do? So here's the deal, and it's just this simple. We have this man right here who's an incredible find on my end, and I am so blessed to have Tom Smith. I've got many good people. You're good people. Now, we can do this. We first have to recognize how deep we are in the hole. And we're in the hole. And then from that, we've got to plot a course. Now, my belief is just this. Here's all there is to it. I'm going to go over here and talk. My belief is this. Left side, right side. I'm going to erase this for right now. Left side, over here, you got to balance the budget. Right side, over here, we got to have real growth. Two key words. These words over here: don't cripple. And over here, immediate jobs. That's all you got to remember. That's it. That's it. If we do stuff over here to balance the budget that constricts us more, let me give you a perfect example. Let's close West Liberty. Shut it down. Let's take away Promise Scholarship. Shut it down. What's going to happen to it? I mean, you know what's going to happen? More people are going to leave. You're going to constrict a little more. If that happens, revenue is going to go down. You're going to turn around, and right behind you there's going to be something. Now let me tell you this real quick. I said this on Hoppy this morning. This happened. I was at Greenbrier East High School. A kid on the way to school, and I loved it. But a kid on the way to school, there was a raccoon that had been hit by a car and it was laying on the side of the road. He picked it up and threw it in the truck, brought it to school, took fishing line and tied it around the raccoon's neck and tied it to his leg. Took off running down the hall of the school, and the teachers were diving in the rooms and everybody screaming like crazy and going nuts. Well, they suspended him for several days. I would have commended him on his originality. But now just think about it. If we don't, in this effort to balance the budget, and I hate to say this, but this is just fact. Yesterday, the other side comes out with this stuff that's no new money. It's just money that's one-time money. One-time money, and a few cuts that are just cutting into people and whacking our dogs or whacking no teachers or whatever it may be. These few cuts totaled about maybe $60 million. And this new money, which is one-time money, it doesn't matter because it's one-time money. But the net down here at the bottom is, with their one-time money, we're still $183 million upside down. Still that. Haven't gone anywhere. And you know what else? And here's the real bugaboo. When you take away the one-time money, next year we're right back to the same thing. 400 million upside down. Haven't gone anywhere. In other words, every time we turn around, the raccoon's right there. And we're running, but the raccoon's still with us wherever we go. Now, this isn't going to work. This is not going to work, because this right here is going to get right into crippling you. Guarantee it's not going to work. Here's what I've tried to do. I've said, let's do this. Let's do a little bit on cigarettes. Let's do a little bit on soda. And now here's the only other two things. Put a quarter of a penny on sales tax. And do, get this, 3/4 of 1/10 on our businesses. The only other thing I'd want to do, and understand, it's so important that you understand my philosophy. I think we've all got to pull the rope together. The bottom line is this. The people are going to pay 1/4 of a penny. Okay? The businesses are in it for 3/4 of 1%. And then I say, the wealthy people, me, we need to pay, this is the wealthy people, we need to pay $500 if we make over 200 grand, $750 if we make 250,000, and $1,000 if we make over 300,000. Now, why am I doing that? I'll tell you why I'm doing it. Because there's some guy in the back of the room or girl that's making $26,000 and they're trying as hard as they can. They have to know the wealthy people are with them. They've got to know the businesses are with them, and they're willing to go and pay this 1/4 of a penny. Now, that right there will enable us not to close West Liberty, not to cut into the bone and take away promised scholarship, or close our parks, or walk away from our seniors. Walk away from the people that need us the most. The poor, the weak, the old, the disabled. Now, if we do that, we're doing the wrong thing. This is as painless as I can make it. Now, let me just tell you this. The other side, and it's so important, and I'll get to this in a second. The other side believes this. They believe a home should live within their means. If we only have X dollars, that's all you got to spend. Makes sense, doesn't it? But now just think, here's what the home is. The home is, Mom and Dad both used to have a job. Now Mom's lost her job. Dad used to have a job making 90 grand. Now he's got a job working for the state, driving a state road plow, making 30,000. We say to him, we're going to take 2% across the board in a cut. He says, I don't know how I can make it. You know, right now, the kids are living off of beanie weenies. I don't know how I can make it. And we say back to him, there is no choice. There is nothing we can do. We're going to have to do this. What you should do in your means is you should feed the kids once a day. Let's just feed the kids once a day and feed them cornbread. Now, you know what this is? This is a formula to death. I guarantee it. It's a formula to a slow death. I don't care who you are, where you come from. This is exactly what we've already done. We have done nothing. We have absolutely done nothing to put us on a pathway to where we ought to go. And all we've done is drain the rainy day fund and cut and cut and cut. If we do that, I said you were 50th, you're going to die 50th. Now, on the other side of the equation, remember, this side's got to balance the budget. And I've told you how we can do it. Now, I want everybody here to understand, I don't want one dime to grow the size of government. I don't want to tax anybody. I don't want to grow the size of anything. I want to cut out every bit of waste we can cut out. I am all for that. I hope you get that. But I am telling you, there's no other way. Not unless you want to just gradually take duct tape and aspirin for cancer and die. Now, on the other side of the equation, here's what we got to have. For this right here, for immediate jobs, those 48,000, it's really more than that because there's significant monies. This is the new highways, but there's significant monies that will come right back around to fix all the potholes and fix the roads. So anyway, now, and that's more jobs. For this side right here, here's what I want to do. I want to raise the DMV fees from 30 to 50 bucks. I want to do this. I want to raise the gas tax 4.5 cents. That's it. Other than one other thing. The tolls. You don't even play into this here. For $8, if you choose to buy it, for $8, you can go on all of our toll roads for free for a year. If you don't go on any of the toll roads, you don't buy the $8 deal. That's it. And you know what this gets us? This lets us tomorrow let $2.4 billion worth of road work. Let that tomorrow. It will turn into this immediately. Now think about this just a second. You know what the payroll tax are on that? Do you know what the payroll taxes are? This right here, it's $250 million. Just on that. That's a payroll tax. Honestly, it will take our state off like a rocket ship. It'll cost us 4.5 cents. It'll cost you $20 on your DMV fees. We will not inspect your vehicle but every third year. You'll save that hassle of every year having to have your vehicle inspected. All you people in back will have so many opportunities and so many jobs, it will be unbelievable. Now, and not only will we do this, but we'll just keep going and keep going and keep going. Now, let me tell you, I'm giving it every single thing I got. And at the end of the day, the other side tries to come up with ideas like say, well, I'll tell you what let's do. Let's go on a program to where what we do is try to get rid of the state income tax. Sounds great, doesn't it? Now, I'm all for that. But I'm not for it the way we would do it. Because today, the patient is lying, which is us, in intensive care. And what we're going to do is we're going to take a patient from intensive care and put them in the Olympics tomorrow. It won't work. And you know who's going to have to pay for it? Not Jim Justice. Here's what's going to happen. We're going to raise your tax on food and everything to at least 8%. Probably to be able to cover it all, sales tax will probably have to go to 10%. It may even have to go higher. But just listen. You know what's going to happen? The guy that's over here making $22,000 and barely getting by, he's going to have to pay this. He doesn't care about the state income tax today. But you know who's going to benefit from this? Me. Me. The rich. The wealthy. You're going to carry the burden, and I'm going to benefit. It's wrong. Wrong thing to do. Not today. Now, when we get you to where you got a job that's making 90 grand or 100 grand, we can do this because you can afford it. But you can't do that today. So, the net of the whole thing is just this. We have a pathway. Now, I'm going to read you something, if I can see it. This is my phone. It's a flip phone. So don't give me a hard time about my flip phone. This is Dr. Clay Marsh from WVU. He really gets it. And he is step and step right with me. We met yesterday. Now I want you to understand what he's saying from a standpoint of health. I want you to hear this and hear this really well. He said yesterday, my son. All right, Jay, I got to call you back. I'm right in the middle of a speech. All right. Yesterday, I love your message. Dead on. Now, wait just a second. I got to. He says, in summary, try to think to build a healthier state. We need to work on rebuilding communities of love and safety, positive relationships, purpose and a mindset, hope and abundance in our citizens. We have to protect and care for our children as adverse experiences in childhood appear to have a devastating negative effect. We have to care for our seniors. Our health is for a lifetime. This is, I believe, how to build a healthy health reality for the state of West Virginia. Now, here's the head doc, and he's basically saying this. He's saying the way we get healthier is not do jumping jacks. The way we get healthier is first and foremost, we've got to have community, and we've got to have love, and we've got to feel needed, and we've got to feel abundance, and we've got to feel like we're a somebody. And when we don't, it will lead to bad health. He loves what we're doing. I'm telling you, this is what we need to do. And I can't do it without you. Now, I'm giving it everything I have. I'm sweating. I'm giving it everything I got. It's our ticket. It's the right thing to do. Somewhere over here, right here, this is what I need you to do. I need you to take the time to call these people. Call these people and tell them that really just saying no or never or assume. Listen. Just to say Our house should only live within our means, and we're going to have to cut our house and cut our house. We've run that play. Remember, I didn't create this mess. I'm just coming to the party. But you asked me to fix it, and I can fix it. And I can put us on a pathway of hope and fix education. I'm the first one to say, don't tax our veterans' retirement. Bring our veterans here. Now people are jumping on the bandwagon. Listen, this is just this silly. You have others that are saying, well, Justice, if you would just allow us to whack a few people, then we'll go along with some of what you want to go along with. And I say to you, when you whack a few people, it's a somebody. And if you're doing it just to be doing it just so you can have some scalps, that's not the thing to do. Now, I'll listen and I'll compromise and I'll work like crazy to come up with a solution as best I possibly can. But here's the only thing. If you feel alone at the top, I'm going to lose my fire. I've got to have you, and I've got to feel you being there. Nobody likes to feel alone. And really, at the end of the day, if you're not there, we're going to get what we deserve. Now, God bless you. I thank you in every way. I'll get this little stool and come around here and answer any question you want me to ask. But I love you. And I really think we can do this. Thank you for coming.
Almost heaven, West Virginia.